Now at 5, a Kansas hospital is among dozens hit with a ransomware attack causing issues for patients. Plus, a Joplin SWAT team arrests 4 people as officers search a home for drugs and weapons. And when the House could vote on whether to expel New York Congressman George Santos.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Better Business Bureau has issued a warning for people intending to use a moving company's service. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. That warning from the BBB comes after a Joplin resident filed a complaint. KOAM's Anthony Saviello joins us in the studio now with more.
Thanks, Dow. When it comes to moving valuables, you want to make sure you can hire a company you can trust. However, recently, a Joplin resident found herself in a difficult situation after hiring a St. Louis-based moving company through a third-party broker. The woman claims that the company quoted her just under $3,000 originally. She says she put a down payment of nearly $1,200 to lock in the quote. However, the day her belongings were loaded to be moved, her original price was hiked to just over $4,000. In a statement released today by the Better Business Bureau, quote, advises consumers to use caution if doing business with We the Best Movers LLC, a St. Louis-based moving company. The statement went on to say that We the Best Movers LLC has an F rating, the lowest on BBB's scale due to several recent unanswered complaints. The business also has received recent negative customer reviews. We spoke with BBB Regional Director Pamela Hernandez about what advice she has for people trying to avoid similar situations.
So they need to do their research. They can go to bbb.org to check out a company, but to not just research the broker, but they also need to find out who the actual mover is going to be and research them as well. They can also contact the U.S. Department of Transportation to find out more about the companies to see if they've had any issues.
The company is organized by Edis Sekic, who is currently a defendant in a lawsuit filed by the Missouri Attorney General. We did reach out to Mr. Sekic, but have not received a response. Dow, back to you.
Anthony, thanks. Authorities in Joplin today arrested 4 people after searching a home and finding drugs and weapons. Happened just before 10 this morning at 3042 West 15th Street in Joplin. Joplin SWAT and the Ozarks Drug Enforcement Team served a search warrant at the home. In addition to the drugs and firearms, they say they also recovered a stolen motorcycle. Authorities arrested 2 men and 2 women at the scene. Now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today, warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days, as most of us warmed up right around 60 to about 63 degrees. You can see our southern counties are a little bit warmer, and it looks like we're going to have a pretty nice evening. Now, it's a little breezy out there. We have our southerly winds, which are picking up just a bit, so we're getting winds kind of in that 5 to 15 mile per hour range, but at times we're going to have gusts 20 to about 25 miles per hour as we go through the overnight hours. We do have our next storm system, which is starting to rotate in. So that's why we're getting some mid and upper level clouds, but it's spinning right off the coast of California near Los Angeles. So that system is going to race toward us, and that's going to give us chances for rain as we go through the next few days. Now, the evening looks fine. We slide back through the 50s into the 40s. Rain chances increase tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that here in just a bit.
See you soon. Hamas is releasing more hostages today, one of whom is expected to be a U.S. citizen. Israel is also releasing an additional 30 Palestinian prisoners. The extended ceasefire is set to expire after this most recent exchange, although intense negotiations are underway to continue the truce even longer. That would enable more humanitarian aid to flow into Gaza. Representative George Santos' time in Congress might be coming to an end if New York Republicans have their way. GOP House leaders say they're going to let their members vote their conscience as a move to expel Santos from Congress is gaining momentum. Reporter Bradley Blackburn has more details now from New York.
House leaders say a vote to expel Congressman George Santos could come Thursday or Friday, and even Santos himself thinks this could be the end.
I believe my colleagues. and a lot of them are saying that they have the votes.
So you think the writing is on the wall?
Could be, yeah.
This would be the second time Santos has faced an expulsion vote, and momentum is moving against him.
How will you be voting?
I'll be voting to expel Santos. He's a crook.
At least a dozen lawmakers have said they changed their minds and will join those voting to expel Santos. The move comes after the House Ethics Committee alleged the Long Island Republican deceived donors and used campaign funds to buy Botox, designer clothing, and take trips to the Hamptons and Atlantic City.
This is different. I mean, this is very expensive. This is fraud. He refused to cooperate with the committee, which is our self-policing thing, and I think it's a pretty straightforward case.
Santos's removal would trigger a special election within 90 days. And with tight margins in the House, losing the seat could make it harder for Republicans to pass legislation. But New York Republicans say they're confident they can replace him with another Republican, and they're the ones pushing for the vote.
He shouldn't be a member of Congress. We were the first to call for his resignation. We were the first to support his expulsion. Santos is not part of the party.
It takes a 2/3 vote in the House to approve the resolution and expel Santos from Congress. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Only 5 House members have ever been expelled from Congress, and most of those occurred during the Civil War. A cyber attack on a healthcare chain is affecting hospitals and patients from half a dozen states, including Kansas. In a statement, Ardent Health Services said it first became aware of a ransomware attack on November 23rd, and its technology team proactively took its network offline. More than a dozen emergency rooms were effectively shut down in recent days, though they are now reopening. We don't know who carried out the ransomware attack or how much money could be involved. A little bit later, finding transportation you can count on.
Consumer Reports reveals the most reliable vehicles. I'm Chanel Call with which brands top the list.
But first, battling Parkinson's disease through dance. That's just ahead in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, in a new study, oncologists at Washington University in St. Louis have found low-dose radiation might help people with heart issues. In tests with mice, researchers discovered the therapy appears to improve heart function in various forms of cardiac failure. They say more research is needed to understand radiation's effects on the human heart. A brisk walk of about 2.5 miles per hour can significantly lower the risk of type 2 diabetes. That's according to new data published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, which shows walking even faster has greater benefits. Walking speed is already linked to better respiratory fitness and muscle strength. It's estimated nearly 1 million people in the United States are living with Parkinson's disease. The degenerative brain disorder causes movement and balance problems. More and more patients are turning to a unique therapy for their physical and emotional well-being. Reporter Naomi Ruckham introduces us to a dance party for Parkinson's.
These dancers are moving to the music. This is Dance Party for Parkinson's. Suzanne Posner was diagnosed more than 10 years ago.
Exhaustion, freezing, not being able to move, and a little bit of extra movement.
Those are some of her daily struggles. She's been coming to this class for years.
When I can walk well, I feel like I'm dancing, and when I can dance, I feel like I'm flying.
We are here to inspire, to motivate, and to tell people that it's not the end to have this disease.
Beth Hochstein started the group. She was diagnosed at 37 with young onset Parkinson's. She's now 51.
Dance really has truly helped my progression of symptoms. You have to keep moving, and you have to keep, having a positive attitude.
Dance is repetitious, so it makes it easier to do.
Instructor Nathan Blake says the class addresses balance, strength, and stamina.
Making sure that they have a good warm-up, something with their hands, not necessarily so much choreography.
The music brings back a lot of memories from when I was a kid.
82-year-old Michael Freese just started coming to the dance party.
I never really danced, but here I'm like motivated. Some days I have good days and bad days, and you just got to keep plugging along.
And he's grateful to spend time with others who are moving forward with the disease. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative disorder in the United States after Alzheimer's disease. And that is a look at today's health news. Doug's next with a complete look at your forecast, and a little later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about cats and Christmas trees. Honestly, you can't. We get this question every year, and every year we just laugh at y'all. It ain't gonna happen. The cats that love to climb will keep climbing. So what I would recommend is get
Well, it turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine, then warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days, and it still looks pretty good out there for us right now. We have, in a sense, clear skies. A few mid and upper level clouds have been increasing just a bit over the past couple hours, and we're going to see that trend as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. But only lower 50s for highs yesterday. Today, you can see we made it into lower 60s. So heading in the right direction. Unfortunately, we're going to go back in the other direction as we go through the next few days. All right, if you're going to be out this evening, we are going to be dry. Clouds will increase. We'll drop back through the 50s into the 40s. I think most of us will bottom out into the mid 40s for overnight lows, but the winds, they're going to start to increase. Look at our southerly winds. They're going to be gusting 20 upwards to 30 miles per hour by dawn, and then they stay fairly strong throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. So all day long tomorrow, we could have winds gusting kind of in that 20 upwards to 30 mile per hour range. So if the trash can's outside, you may want to bring it in, as it's going to be a little bit on the breezy side. Mid and upper level clouds starting to increase across the region ahead of our next storm system. It's a weak wave, but it's going to gather some Gulf of Mexico moisture and give us chances for rain as we go through the next few days. It's spinning right off the coast of California near Los Angeles at this point in time. Again, it doesn't have a lot of moisture right now, but it will start to pick up some moisture as it heads toward us. And we actually have several waves which are going to head toward us as we go through the next few days. So here comes wave number one, moving in on Thursday into Friday. A second wave over the weekend. It's not going to have a lot of moisture, but we may get a couple showers. We get another wave that passes by early next week, and then the pattern picks up again late next week into the following week. So at least we're into an active pattern. We got rain and snow this past weekend, rain moving in once again. All right, a few random showers late tonight into tomorrow morning, but most of you will stay dry tonight. We'll drop back mid 40s. As we go through the day, showers will start to pick up, especially in our southern counties. But it's tomorrow afternoon the rain really increases. Look at this. This is 5 p.m., so if you're heading home from work, it's going to be wet out there. Rain pushes into Parsons, Joplin, Monette, Miami, Bonita, really increasing widespread through tomorrow evening. Into tomorrow night, we could even have a few rumbles of thunder as showers and a couple thunderstorms continue to push through all the way through Friday morning. And then as we go through the day on Friday, any rain that is left over will start to push out of the region, and we're going to cool right back down. All right, so not super heavy amounts of rain, but at least decent amounts. I think most of us kind of in that half-inch to 1-inch range, which is good. Here's your day planner on your Thursday. Rain increasing through the day, but high temps only right around 52 or 53 degrees. So it is going to be cooler tomorrow. Only 49 on Friday. Back to 60 on Saturday, 57 on Sunday. Temperature is pretty good all the way through about the middle of next week. We need the rain, and it's good that we're going to get some over the next couple days.
Doug, thanks. Coming up, what new data shows about how the U.S. dollar is performing? Topping today's Consumer Watch, the U.S. dollar index is on track for a 3.7% loss this month. That would make it the worst monthly performance in a year. The index measures the American dollar against a basket of 6 major currencies. As recently as early October, the U.S. dollar index was surging by more than 7%. A weaker dollar means American consumers can expect to pay more for imported goods and for vacations abroad. Home prices in the U.S. continued to increase in September, marking the 8th consecutive month on the rise. Mortgage rates remained above 7% in September, but historically low inventory continued to raise home prices. There's a lot to consider when you buy a new car, including finding one that's not going to be breaking down. Reporter Chanel Call went to Consumer Reports for a look at some of the most reliable vehicles.
Keith Berry is taking a spin on the Consumer Reports test track in a BMW X5, one of this year's most reliable vehicles. Researchers came to that conclusion after analyzing data and surveys from tens of thousands of car owners.
Responding to us and telling us what went wrong on their vehicles. Our statisticians crunch those numbers and they can predict how reliable a brand's going to be and in many cases how reliable an individual vehicle is going to be.
The BMW received a reliability score of 82. But Toyota dominates the rest of the top 5, with the 4Runner and Camry Hybrid earning this year's top scores. Toyota's Alex Sun says the Camry's been offering a hybrid version since 2007.
And gets up to 52 miles per gallon.
It's not just Camrys. Consumer Reports found hybrids from a number of manufacturers scored high.
What makes them more reliable?
Yeah, they're having fewer issues. What's really interesting is that even though hybrid vehicles are more complex, they're 26% more reliable than gasoline-powered cars on average.
Overall, electric vehicles don't fare as well as hybrids, but the report shows that's changing.
The good news about EVs is that we're seeing they're getting better and better every year. They're better than last year.
Out of 30 brands, EV maker Tesla is number 14 for reliability, but the top 2 brands are Toyota and the company's luxury line, Lexus.
Lexus's attention to that detail that they've been building up over the years, that our members tell us that their Lexuses don't have problems.
And buying a vehicle that doesn't have problems can save you thousands of dollars down the road. Chanel Call, CBS News, Colchester, Connecticut.
General Motors says it's going to cut spending on self-driving vehicles after one struck a pedestrian earlier this year. Chief Executive Mary Barra says development of cruise cars will be more deliberate going forward. Says the company is going to spend less on them next year, and production of GM's Origin van is suspended. Those vehicles have no driver's seat, steering wheel, or pedals. Our Pet Vet on Call up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, an investigation into how child labor in Africa is used to harvest the cocoa for popular American sweets like M&Ms and Snickers. And then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more tips on choosing a moving company after the BBB gave an F rating to one in Missouri. Plus, tree farms in Missouri are battling a shortage due to industry changes. And the CJ Classic rolls on. We're going to break down today's matchups. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. With Thanksgiving behind us now, a lot of families are decking the halls for Christmas, but that can be a temptation for pets. Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: how can I discourage my cat from climbing my Christmas tree?
Honestly, you can't. We get this question every year, and every year we just laugh at y'all. It ain't gonna happen. The cats that love to climb will keep climbing. So what I would recommend is get large cat-friendly ornaments. No garland, absolutely no tinsel, and maybe secure your tree so it doesn't fall over. But be prepared to pick up the tree, redecorate, and have the most frustrating Christmas ever, but the most memorable one.
Probably don't want to decorate the tree with catnip, I'm thinking. We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to PetVet, KOAMTV.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here, KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week from the Joplin Humane Society. First up, we have Boopity. That's the name, Boopity, a male domestic medium hair kitten, in case you're looking for something that might climb your Christmas tree. And we also have Freckles. The shelter says he's an adult male collie. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Let's check back with Doug now for a final look at the forecast.
Well, clouds are going to increase for us tonight as we drop back into the mid-40s for overnight lows. Our southern counties may get a few random showers late tonight into tomorrow morning, but rain increases across the region tomorrow, especially tomorrow afternoon. Late in the afternoon into the evening. Periods of rain tomorrow night through Friday morning, and cooling down the next few days.
Thanks, Doug. Looking pretty good for the weekend for sure. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.